And welcome back to Who Would Win this lovely Saturday, the 29th of August. Why did I give the date? I don't know, just felt like it. Moving on. So this one comes to us from Michael J. I've lost the last name of it. I apologize for that, Michael, but Michael J, if I'm not mistaken. You asked the question. This is a pretty big matchup in terms of like what they're capable of doing. The type of beings we're dealing with. The Living Tribunal from Marvel versus Lucifer Morningstar from the DC universe. Both these guys are literally deities. They aren't just deity level. They are deities. Not necessarily that they're worshipped per se, although Lucifer is in like biblical. Excuse me. In the biblical sense, he's in the biblical sense. He is in the Bible, so like he is known. He is the he's the son of God, pretty much, and fallen angel, all of that. And the Living Tribunal is essentially someone who kind of keeps an eye on the entire Marvel universe. So, I mean, this is a Sophie's choice, if you will, in some regards. Now, let's go over each of these guys real quick. Lucifer Morningstar obviously is the son of God, more or less. A rebel archangel who, brief description they have right here on the site, was once given hell as his own domain. After thousands of years, he decided he no longer wanted to do that and believed it was best expected of him, so he abandoned hell and retired to Earth. Hence, Lucifer, the TV series, which I hear is great, and I haven't gotten around to watching it. He is nigh omnipotent. Unlike other regular fallen angels, he pretty much retained all of his holy and nigh omnipotent power. He is, and I'm quoting here, omniscient. He has omnipresence, cosmic awareness. He can travel between dimensions, energy protection, enhanced intellect, flight, immortality, interstellar travel, invulnerability, magic, molecular reconstruction, necromancy, pyrokinesis, which includes thermal blast and disintegration, reality alteration, size alteration, superhuman stamina, strength, speed, and time acceleration, telekinesis, and he has wings. He's also very capable of deception, genius level intellect, indomitable will, apparently a skilled swordsman, and occultism. So, yeah, Lucifer Morningstar is pretty freaking haxed. There is, however, one limitation to Lucifer's powers. Lucifer is unable to create something from nothing. That involves the, as they say, demiurgic force of his brother. So basically, him and Michael together can do anything. But the Archangel Michael is actually much more capable of doing something like that. Whereas, in fact, I'm just going to get Michael up here real quick. And Michael is actually said to be theoretically stronger. I believe it's said that the only ones who can either match or are stronger than him, rival or surpass his power, are his brother Michael and the Presence, which is essentially DC's the one above all. DC's de facto god. But yeah, Michael himself is also nigh omnipotent. I mean, he has pretty much all the same powers as him, except he also has ectokinesis, which can control the primal essence of the Spectre Force. He's also got invulnerability, all of that. So together they can create, but alone, that's the one thing that Lucifer can't do. So what does the Living Tribunal bring to this? Well, here, it's weird. This is actually kind of weird. Is that the Living Tribunal is actually an omnipotent being. He is omnipotent. Whereas Lucifer is nigh omnipotent. So you might think that he's got the leg up on him right there. Well, not technically. But it's weird. It is weird because the Living Tribunal is basically the second runner-up for the most powerful being in the multiverse of Marvel. The only one being the one above all. That is the only one who surpasses him in terms of power. That's it. That's the way it works in the hierarchy. And then you get other individuals below the one Living Tribunal, like Eternity, Infinity, all of them. For his powers, his power set, they don't really actually explain his power set very well, but he literally can kind of do just about anything he wants. He was the embodiment of the Marvel multiverse. He is considered to be an omnipotent entity, being more powerful than individuals like Eternity and Infinity, and he has the power, as such, that he can nullify the powers of the Infinity Gems in unison. Which means he can, in theory, if he wants, nullify the powers of all the Infinity Gems or stones, depending on how you interpret them in terms of, mineral ingots. But infinity stones in all the multiverses. And his strength level is incalculable, though apparently not insofar as to oppose the Beyonders, which means he's arguably in the Beyonders might, but the Beyonders are weird. So that's a very it's a very broad thing here. Like, here we go. The Beyonders can kill multiple. Jesus, stop. I hate when ads come up and keep moving the page. The Beyonders can kill multiple powerhouses on a whim. As 3 Beyonders were shown power enough to kill the Living Tribunal itself, as well as destroy most of the cosmic entities of every reality. So the Beyonders are beings that are even beyond the Living Tribunal. Not individually, like, obviously they needed 3 of them to kill the Living Tribunal, but still. But the Beyonders are a completely separate thing entirely. Which, there you go. Beyonders versus Lucifer Morningstar. There's another one we can put down. Actually, I think I may even have that down as someone's given. I've got so many suggestions, it's hard for me to remember any of them. But in terms of what the Living Tribunal is capable of doing, that's not really well defined. It's clear he's got, like, reality warping powers on the level of beyond the Infinity Gauntlet. So he is literally de facto the end all be all. Again, save the one above all. So it's really, but what I wanted to get at, where it's kind of like, well, this is weird, is that he allied himself during a DC Marvel crossover with his closest counterpart in the DC universe, the Spectre. Now, the Spectre is, I mean, we know how powerful the Spectre is, but apparently Lucifer Morningstar is considered more powerful than the Spectre. So, but that being said, that's your counterpart isn't necessarily someone who's equal in power to you. They can be greater or lower in power. So I guess that might not be the best way to interpret it. That's just his counterpart in terms of maybe what their goal or duty is. So the question immediately becomes, who wins in a fight between these guys? First off, these guys probably wouldn't even fight. Lucifer has no reason to be going toe-to-toe with someone like the Living Tribunal. And unless Lucifer is really causing havoc or is basically causing an imbalance in the multiverse, Living Tribunal wouldn't do crap against him. But assuming that something has happened that causes them to meet in combat, who's going to win? Well, Lucifer doesn't have any clear-cut weaknesses, but we know that his brother Michael is at least his equal, and that there is a individual stronger than him, at least one individual who's equal to him. So that means he could lose a fight. Whether or not he'd be killed is another thing entirely. Though, if you're equal in power to someone, you probably can find a way to kill that individual given enough time. The Living Tribunal has been killed, but by individuals who are arguably even stronger than Lucifer Morningstar. I'd have to really break that down, but yeah, still. I'm going to say this right up front. There is one advantage the Living Tribunal has that Lucifer Morningstar does not have. And it's basically the one thing Lucifer Morningstar can't do. Lucifer Morningstar can't create things for nothing. But with a built reality warping on the same, if not greater level than the Infinity Gauntlet, which can do that with just the snap of the fingers, Living Tribunal can do that. Which means it is feasible, given how ancient both of these guys are, he might be able to devise something that would probably not kill Lucifer Morningstar, but incapacitate him to the point of not being able to fight. Because, let's be honest, I can't go into real details of what this fight would be like, because this is just going to be deities throwing shade at each other, and basically throwing galaxies, popping supernovas like they're Tic Tacs. It's not going to... The question is, who would beat the other? Who's ultimately going to beat the other, and why? I will say this, though. In terms of, skills, apparently the Living Tribunal is depicted of not having great fighting skills, while Lucifer Morningstar actually does have, legitimate fighting skills. So that, Lucifer Morningstar could easily just increase himself to the size of the Living Tribunal if he wanted to. But given the fact that Lucifer Morningstar can't create, and the Living Tribunal can create, age-wise, it's irrelevant where these guys stand age. I mean, let me see. Let me see if I can find an age on this guy by chance. So age. Yeah, I don't think we're going to find an age on this guy. This guy's probably, okay, entity who has existed as long as the universe itself. So basically, he's existed, well, actually. You see, the thing about it is that Galactus is a remnant of the last universe, which technically makes him even older than the Living Tribunal? Technically. He's as old as the universe itself. He's existed as long as the universe, but that doesn't mean that he hasn't existed prior to that as well. Like when the universe eventually collapses in on itself, but there's multiverse too. Are all the multiverses collapsing in on themselves at the same time, and then the new ones will spread, pop out? Is it all on the same timeline? Why am I spelling copper all this time? Yeah, like this is all like real existential metaphysical stuff right now. Assuming that he is at least as old as the universe, if not older, then he's at least the same age also, or as old as Lucifer Morningstar, too. Because Lucifer Morningstar technically is ageless. He's been around as long as the universes have existed, probably longer. In fact, I'm almost certain he's been around longer. So they both have the age and experience to subdue the other. Just a matter of if they have the ability to do that. And again, where Lucifer Morningstar falls short is he cannot create anything from nothing. He has to alter things. He can alter molecular structure or something. He can alter reality to some degree to alter the structure of something. But he could not create a cage out of thin air that could trap the Living Tribunal. Whereas the Living Tribunal could maybe figure out a way to do that to Lucifer Morningstar. The question just becomes, how do you do that? Lucifer Morningstar isn't bound by anything. He's not bound by religious text. He's not bound by holy items. He's not bound by the demonic. He's not really bound by anything except by his brother, only because his brother at minimum equals him in strength, and the presence being his father, basically. So the question becomes, how would they subdue him or theoretically kill him? Possibly just wipe him from existence? That'd probably be the most logical way to go about it. If they could contain him, how would they do that? Strip him of his power? That's entirely possible. But I don't know if there's a this one. I don't like going with a wash. Someone's got to come out more on top. And I'm going to say that despite the fact that the Living Tribunal has been shown to be able to be killed, honestly, I doubt we've just seen anything that's able to kill Lucifer yet. Even though, he's been able to be killed. He's also the only one who's able to create, and when you're a multiversal being who can create anything he wants, pretty much, then you kind of get the leg up on the guy. You cannot create anything from nothing. Granted, this would be such a drawn-out fight that eventually I think they would both... I'll say, I think that's where what happens here, is that they both kind of just give up. Like, okay, then we're done here. Because remember, the Beyonder is either maybe on par with Lucifer Morningstar or maybe not quite the same level as Lucifer Morningstar. Might even be a little bit stronger. Who knows? But it still took 3 of them to bring down the Living Tribunal, which means they knew they needed more than one. Even if the Beyonder's powers are somewhere in the realm of Lucifer Morningstar's level, Lucifer Morningstar does not equate to the same level as 3 Beyonders, apparently. At least from what we're gathering, judging off power bases here. So I will tentatively and understandably saying this, knowing that people are going to disagree with me, and that's perfectly fine, I'm going to go with the Living Tribunal. And I mean, like, this is like the most razor thin margin you could possibly do. This is like 49.55555555554 versus 51.55556 kind of stuff percent. Like, anyone who disagrees with me, I'm perfectly okay with that. Because these two are pretty much like, this would be just an endless fight between the two of them. It really would. There is no winner here, ultimately, in terms of a clear-cut wipes the other out. This is more just who's going to be able to keep the other one at bay longer or possibly even seal up the other one. At least from my interpretation. Now, maybe you disagree. That's good. Understandable. I really can't argue at all if you disagree with me. These guys are so close. It's not even funny. Actually, it is pretty funny when I ever think on it. Either way, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. My vote, by the narrowest of margins you can get is the Living Tribunal. I will not argue against anyone who thinks Lucifer Morningstar can win. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you next time. Hit that bell if you want notifications. I'm trying to think what else I got, because this is for Saturday. I'll have the What If pre-recorded, so I'll have it up today before I go to work, because I've got plans later in the day. As you can tell from Friday's Who Would Win also, yeah, this is pre-recorded. Sunday's my usual stick right now. I've got the Captain Glass Shinigami video, a Zanpakuto Theory video, and I got one more Who Would Win to finish out the week of Who Would Wins. And then one day, combination of Wednesday and Monday, we just skipped Tuesday. On Monday, we got a Who Would Win, and we got the Q&A, so stay tuned for that. If you have any questions for the Q&A, just go to the Q&A video, put your questions in there. They're submitted. I'm just going to basically be reading them off. Yeah, that's about it. Until then, thanks for watching. Later.